Speaking of OVO, did y'all check out Drake and Party Next Door's new album?
Ooh, I was just about to talk about
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, we was talking about that before we got on here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Actually, yeah, I'll Sean, well, you talk about it first. Yeah, you had some.
No, we had similar sentiments about it. It's like when we heard the "Give Me a Hug" song, right?
Yeah,
Like
Mm.
yeah.
it was just basically like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Because I kind of in the beginning of the album, I was going
Mm-hmm.
through. I was giving it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, let me see. But you got to get to some bangers at some point. And then "Give Me a
Hmm.
Hug" was like in a perfect spot to like, okay, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to some other place that I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think he still has an opportunity if he goes back into his bag,
Mm-hmm.
and spits. But I was
Yeah.
wanting more of that for the album, But I'm glad he
Mm-hmm.
at least put something out because at the end of the day, don't go and hide completely. At least
Mm-hmm.
put something out. So
Yeah, that was my sentiment, and also
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I like the flow of the album in the beginning because like okay, he's back on his R&B shit. This sounds like a good little
Mm-hmm.
thing, Party Next Door. I didn't really hear. I can't even tell what Party Next Door sounds like really because Drake
yeah,
overpowered it
that's
a
what I.
Mm-hmm.
lot. So it was really just a Drake album at the end. That's what a lot of people were saying. And then it got
Hmm.
up to that "Give Me a Hug" song, which I think was about somewhere near the middle, right?
Hmm.
And that shit was just a banger. And I was telling Sean, it was like early in the morning. I was listening to this joint. I ran
Yes.
downstairs, woke up my wife, and was like, "Yo, you gotta hear this shit." And she's like, "Why the fuck are you waking me up with this nonsense?" And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's a little bop there." And, it gave me
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
that good old Drake feeling. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it slowed down again, right? It went back to that R and
Yeah.
B and everything, which is cool, but it's not like
Mm-hmm.
why I listen to
Hmm.
Drake. Like, but I like
Right.
his previous albums or most of his albums that I enjoyed, he had it sprinkled in there, but those weren't like my favorite records, right?
Hmm.
Unless it's a
Yeah.
mix of him singing or and rapping at the same time.
So y'all like more of upbeat, like upbeat Drake versus like the chill mellow
I just
side?
like to hear him rap.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just spit, yeah, yeah. So that's yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be upbeat. He could be
Yeah.
depressing,
Uh-huh.
whatever. Yeah, this is. But
Right.
I do like the way he kind of bounced back from this whole beef with Kendrick
Ordeal.
Lamar and
Mm.
being more of an afterthought rather than a pity
Hmm.
party. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's
what do you
true.
say? I came here to like party, make hits or some shit. I don't know.
Hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but him talking about hugging all the strippers, him, you know what I mean, remembering all these strippers' names by heart and all that stuff. It's just
Mm-hmm.
reminiscent of the old Drake. And
Yeah,
mind you,
yeah.
Right.
like there was, I think Charlemagne or some of them, they was like, oh, all these people coming out. He shows no growth as an artist. This is what you expect from this motherfucker. He got a sound, right?
Hmm.
Y'all
Right.
wasn't. R. Kelly did not no, I don't want to say R. R. Kelly always changed up. Like you go to like people always want to hear a certain thing or new stuff from an artist, but then they appreciate
Mm-hmm.
them when they go back to their roots. So like Jay-Z, when a Jay-Z album comes out, right? Remember he tried to change. Remember Blueprint? I think it was Blueprint
Hmm.
3. He was trying to
Yeah,
rap like the doing all the like electronic beats and rapping like
yeah.
with the auto tune and all that shit,
Hmm.
and nobody liked it. Then he came out with Death of Auto Tune and all the
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah.
Or was that the same album? I don't even know. But
No, no, it's just
yeah, it was a different album. But yeah, like he has a
Mm-hmm.
sound, and he came out with 444, which is more grown up Jay Z, but similar, production wise and all that stuff to his older stuff with more meaning behind it. And him just, like
Mm-hmm.
talking to that audience. Drake has an audience, old and new, and they all like
Mm-hmm.
the sound that he's made over the past 10 years, right? Including
Yeah.
myself. And
hmm.
I'm not gonna, even before that, like when he was more rapidy rap, using different production and all that stuff. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you're caught up in this space. You're trying to. I don't even know what it is. What he's been trying to do, experimenting with different sounds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, but this kind of going back, but it being more R&B sounding is cool.
Hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
made me feel happy. But I need more rapping from him, and so he needs to get the writers back in the room and
Hmm.
churning out
I
more
think
records.
I think it was more R&B because he dropped it for Valentine's Day, I guess. Cause what is it called?
Yeah.
Sexy Songs for You or something like that.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But I listened to the whole album like twice and I noticed most of them were R&B, but he had like one that was Spanish, like Micha
Oh yeah, yeah,
Padre. I
yeah.
think that was what it's called. He had a Afrobeat sounding one, then he had like a pop sounding one. It
I
reminded
know
me of like
Kia.
Post Malone. No, not Nakia. That was like a throwback vibe. It gave like 80s, but I think 80s. I don't know, but it was just a throwback vibe. But no, it was, I forget what it was called, but it's later in the album. But
It was a lot of songs. We talked about
yeah,
how
it
many. It
was.
was
It's
too
like
I
many.
didn't
21
even
songs,
get
I
that
Yeah,
think.
far
yeah,
to
yeah,
critique
Yeah,
every
it
song.
yeah.
was. It
I
took a
think
minute, but I got
yeah.
there.
So I go listen
It's
to it.
worth it though. It's worth the whole
It's worth a
listen.
listen. Okay, so you're more of a Drake. So can you listen to a Kendrick Lamar album twice?
I'd rather listen to Drake.
No.
I respect both of them, but
Mm.
like I prefer Drake's music for sure.
When did the Super? Do we talk about Super Bowl halftime?
We did last
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Okay, so it was
I
as
think.
forgettable as the show. Okay, so I know you all are on social media, so the sentiment has kind of switched a little bit amongst the masses. Like Drake's back and all this other stuff, and I keep seeing, and maybe because the algorithms are programmed for my not my bias, my particular bias, because it's there, but I also can see some kind of correlation between how social media and stuff, people just like saying like, oh, this is a good, you can't really keep the boy down and all that, which I agree with. You can't, like, he's selling out shows still. He's taken some of the thunder away from what Kendrick had started, and I feel like Kendrick's pinnacle was that Super Bowl halftime show, and he kind of dropped the ball on it because he didn't do things to get him more familiar with different, I guess, base of fans, but that I don't think that's his goal anyway, which is perfectly fine. But like now, I think Drake has a more confident. He's out there in Australia playing to the smaller arena. The fans love him. He's staying at a big old penthouse over there. Did you see that video of him in the penthouse? And somebody flew a drone down and tried to film him. I think it was a stunt, like somebody, like it was for stake, like the gambling thing. But yeah, like
yeah, makes
because
sense.
they would take, like, his laptop was out there, and then the drone was filming the laptop, and it had the stake screen on it. Like I know because I play on stake, and I saw the gambling going on, and it's very clever marketing, and he takes a slipper and throws it. You'll see it on the internet. But he's out there in the penthouse. He's been there for almost a month now, performing to sold out crowds and all this stuff. Like, I think the energy is coming back, and when he comes back and does an actual project, whether it's on Universal Records or not, it's gonna be something to remember, yo.
Yeah.
And then Kendrick might have to come back and start trying to diss him again. And at this point, yo, we talk about like how, like with Trump, how it's like, I'm not a Trump supporter or anything like that, but like after you get shot at, all this other crazy shit, and then now you get elected president again,
Yeah,
or come back to a position of power. Like, I feel that's where Drake's at. Like, yo, like, they called me a pedophile, and all these, like, there was like 90 motherfuckers after me just because I slept with their mom and their sister and their girlfriend, right? And now they all after me because I'm the boy, I'm the play. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that guy. Now it's just like, and then you see the women coming out again. You're seeing like TikTok, and they're doing all the chat, like all the songs are out there again. Like, people are fucking with it. So I don't think none of his position's been taken. Now the numbers may say different, but you know what? It's not even a numbers game anymore.
yeah.
That's what everybody keeps
that's true.
saying. You know what I mean? Like, everybody keeps saying that. It's a numbers. Oh, he's selling. He was the only rapper selling like that for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only one of the only rappers. That Kendrick wasn't doing numbers like this. Nobody.
yeah.
So
yeah.
if he fell off a little bit from there because he put out mediocre projects, oh well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who gives
Yeah.
a fuck? Like, at this point, he doesn't care. He's bigger than that, and I don't think any other rapper's gonna eat next year because of this. Watch.
Well, I think he come back. I definitely think he has a good chance to come back. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. So.